तो डिफाइंड है इंडिपेंडेंट कौन होता है और पार्टी एफिलिएशन कौन होता है.
You are very quiet, Mr. Makhdoom Ali Khan.
Lord, I'm listening.
Form 33
The questions.
Form 33 देखें.
Was he denied contesting the election against the symbol of the horse? And why was he denied that, which made him also compelled him to contest as an independent? So it changes the way this case has been argued.
I do not, your ladyship, dispute that observation. May I only submit that this was not the case set up before the Election Commission or in the pleadings before the High Court or in the petition or appeal before your ladyship
So then
and your
let's
lordship.
not rely on this fact for now until it's confirmed.
Well, I am only saying that this fact has not even been alleged. Throughout these proceedings, this is not a contested fact.
This letter does not show that they were denied the symbol or they were not allowed to contest it. It's a very simple letter. They themselves inform the ECP.
This letter
Not the case.
This letter does not show, and my lord, the pleadings do not show that they wanted to contest and on the symbol of a horse.
It means that there was a single symbol was available. They say that nobody contested the election on the symbol. It means there was a symbol. Otherwise, so there was no mentioning of symbol. It was snatched by the ECP. Then what is the fun of mentioning this case? Nobody contested the election on the symbol. There was a symbol then.
Insofar as I am concerned, till this disclosure made this morning, this was the undisputed position from the pleadings of the parties. And that was the basis of my
Makhdoom Ali Khan, I think it's pretty settled law that everything has to be said on the basis of pleadings.
Yes.
I mean, law points, of course, you can agitate. Now, so sorry, we will go by what the pleadings are. Unless there's something in the pleadings saying to the contrary, fine.
My lord, my friends with
It's neither our case to build up someone's case, nor is it our job to demolish anyone's case. We will go by the facts as have been stated. It's for the other side to say this fact is not factually correct, or that's your prerogative or their prerogative.
Lord, my friends with the matchless industry will be able to point out if I am in error on this, but my case before this honorable court is that this was not a fact in issue before either the Election Commission of Pakistan or before the Peshawar High Court or even before this honorable court in the pleadings submitted before this honorable court, first as CPLA or as civil appeal, or even in the very elaborate and extensive submissions made over the course of 3 days.
You see, from your point of view, nothing turns on this fact. The relevant argument from your point of view is proportional representation system. And your case has to be how these women fall within the concept of a proportional representation system and why should not be considered disproportionate to the number of seats won. So that's primarily where your case comes in.
With your ladyship's leave, I'll take it a little further. And my case is that proportional representation system is not a stand-alone phrase in the Constitution. It is the proportional representation system of political parties' list of candidates.
Fair enough, but from that list, proportionately named reserve seats के लिए दिए जाएंगे. So you'd have to explain this concept of proportional representation.
ये भी आप बताएंगे कि क्या ये जो representation है, proportional representation, allocation के लिए क्या fixed criteria है, fixed percentage है, और it varies from situation to situation. कि कितने बुनियाद, suppose आपने 10 सीट्स कौमी असेंबली की जीती हैं तो आपको 1 सीट मिलेगी, आपने 20 सीट जीती हैं तो 2 मिलेंगे. क्या ये फिक्स है या ये चेंज होता रहेगा?
The basis on which it has been worked out, the proportion is not exact, and it has not even been exactly worked out even in the Constitution. If your lordship takes a look very kindly at clause 3 of Article 51, your lordship will see in case of women both the general seats and the women's seats are mentioned. And if your lordship will see the criteria for Balochistan, it is apparent that almost 4 MNAs will get 1 seat. It is Balochistan 16 and the women's seats are 4, so the proportion is...
Suppose 2 of them are independent and they do not join any party. Then what would be the ratio? Whether it will be 4 or it will be less than 4 or it will be more than 4?
My lord, in my submissions would have come a bit later in the day, but I'll answer it right away. My submission would be that if there were, out of these 16, 8 independents and 8 candidates belonging to 2 political parties, the 4 women's seats will go to the 2 political parties equally.
Mr. Makhdoom Ali Khan, let me try and understand what your case is, because you see, one reason I can very easily understand why the Constitution doesn't say that is because as an arithmetical calculation, for a particular political party, the proportional seats may come out as a fraction. And obviously that fraction has to be either adjusted up or down, and I think there's something in the rules that does that. But just to understand where you stand, and since your candidates include, say, PMLN, so just to take that as an example for no other reason, meaning PMLN, got a certain number of reserved seats, right, which is not in dispute, right? Now, I'm just looking at that, so I'm not looking at the disputed number. How did you get that number? Because you secured or won, you meaning PMLN, a certain number of seats, say from Punjab province, because it's province-wise, right? Now, how was it determined that you, PMLN, had won those many seats in Punjab province? Presumably because that many returned candidates fought the election on a certain election symbol, whatever your symbol is. But it seems to me that those candidates got that election symbol because in the nomination forms that they had submitted under the Parent Act, they had made a declaration that, along with a party letter, that they were candidates of PMLN, right? Do you agree with that?
Yes, my lord.
So it seems to me, and just harking back to what was asked of you a little while ago, that the basis of the entire calculation is what's on the nomination form. That builds up to the election symbol, although I think I would also say that the election symbol is not really relevant for this purpose of this paragraph, but for purposes of the paragraph, it simplifies identification. This candidate returned on this symbol, oh, he has got to be a member of that political party. This candidate returned on that symbol, oh, candidate of that political party. But the basis is what is declared by that candidate on the nomination form, right? And it seems to me that if that is the position, then the essence of the proportionality, what I've been calling the balance, is based on that, and that cannot be tipped, that cannot be disturbed, so that no one disputes that on that basis you PMLN or you JUIP or you People Party parliamentarian got a certain percentage of the reserved seats. Question is, how did you, election commission, what theory, on what logic, on what reasoning did the election commission go beyond that and say, no, wait a minute, they've got what they were entitled to, but now we're going to go beyond that? Where did that come from?
My lord, the way I understand, and I'll attempt to explain it, is that the Constitution very clearly excludes independents. No matter how many are they in number, the proportion is to be maintained between the political parties and on the basis of their list lists, the allocation is to be made. So
the allocation is to be made on the third principle that you'd mentioned was that on the basis of the total number of general seats secured. So there is a limit.
Yes.
They can't go beyond that. So whatever they've secured, that would become the foundation on the basis of which they will get their share. And that stays that way. That's amongst the political parties.
Amongst the political parties, but because the constitutional scheme excludes independent, the proportion will automatically change.
But in this case, how was that, how were these people, the candidates, because who declared on their nomination forms that they were PTI candidates, how were they declared as or regarded by the Election Commission as independent?
My Lord, in the case, I can only go by the concise statement. The concise statement which has been filed at least has 2 nomination forms. And that shows that these candidates came forward. In the case of those 2 candidates, that is on the record. And yeah.